that means? It's cold, it's dark, and it's wet. Which means it's time for some good comfort food. And what I'm going to do today is a nice slow cooker onion soup. Humble onion, often overlooked, thrown around, used raw in burgers, salads and the like. But for this, we're just going to effectively slow roast it in the slow cooker. 7 to 8 hours, let it get caramelised, sweet and juicy, and turn it into a soup. For this recipe, you're going to need about 800 grams of onions. Any will do. Well, brown, yellow onions, not red. About 30 grams of butter. I'm using this Flora plant-based butter because it's what we've got in. A little bit of sugar, so about a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons maybe, and maybe a little bit of something to add some more flavour to it. So I'm adding sage. So I'm hoping it'll be a bit like drinking sage and onion stuffing. So what you need to do to begin with, is get your 800 grams of onions and peel them and slice them up. I'm not going to show you that because that's going to take a long time, and I don't think you need to hear me crying. So I will come back when that's done. Right, onions are all chopped up, my eyes are streaming, and it's now time to add the other bits into the slow cooker pot and put it on. So, big chunk of butter, get that in there. Next, going to add a couple of teaspoons of sage. And finally, some sugar, just to sweeten and help caramelise. So now that's all in. Pop this into the slow cooker heating element thing. Put the lid on, put it on high, give it a stir every now and then, and come back to it in about 6, 7, 8 hours. I'll see you then. Who wants soup without bread? Not me. So just to go with that delicious smelling soup right now as it's cooking, I'm going to make just some simple white bread. So since there's only going to be 2 of us eating today, and if I'm having bread with my soup, I want it to be hot, fresh and crusty. I'm only making enough for 2 people. So for that, we're going to need 250 grams of plain flour. That'll do. Approximately half a sachet of like some generic dry yeast, so fill about half. A teaspoon of salt. Personally, I tend to put a little less in, so I'm using a half teaspoon here. If it fills, yep, there we go. Just over half a teaspoon, and about 200 ml of fresh water, of warmish water, just to get that yeast going. After that, I'm going to stick it in the stand mixer for 5 minutes on low setting, just to get a good mix, and then it'll be left to prove for 2 hours, and then we'll come back to it. Okay, so the bread is risen. Doing another quick spin around in the stand mixer. So now all we need to do, portion it out. Going to do a couple of rolls sort of thing, whack them in the oven for 20 to 30 minutes, and enjoy them with the soup. Time for the reveal. This is 8 hours later. Might not look much, but those onions are absolutely soft as they come. If you were a dog, you'd take them home. So now, to actually turn it into a soup, what we need is some stock. Normally I would use some stock that I've made myself, using just some veg peelings. Haven't got any at the moment, so I haven't been able to make any. So we're just going to rely on good old fashioned stock cube and hot water. So we need about a litre to a litre and a half worth of stock. You know how these work. Pop it in, add hot water, give it a good mix, and then pour in once it's mixed. Once you've done that, pop it back in the cooking base of the slow cooker for about another half an hour or so, and then we'll have a taste. However, before that, just looking around the kitchen, I've spotted my mushroom ketchup. Absolutely delicious. Don't have it with chips, it doesn't work like that. It's more of a cooking sauce. So I'm just going to add a little bit of that to just boost the flavour, a bit of umami flavouring into the soup. Okay, I'll see you when it's ready. Right, 25 minutes later, bread is done, soup is done. Bread itself seems a little bit dense, doesn't matter, it's going in soup, and any bread with soup is good. So let's have a look at the soup. It is now the moment of truth for our slow cooker onion soup. Try to keep the camera out of the steam as much as possible. Now let's see if all this effort has been worth it. Get a bit of everything. Okay, it's good. Thinking in future, maybe a little bit more sugar, a bit more sage. Apart from that, that's actually very nice. So yeah, if you give this a go, let me know. Let me know any changes you make, what you think. Okay, post-meal analysis. Delicious, needs a little bit more to develop the flavour profile. I think next time I'm going to make this, a bit more sage, a bit more sugar, to get that caramelisation just a bit more strong. And I'm thinking of maybe adding some red wine to it. If you have any suggestions on that, let me know. See you guys. Bye.